He generally glides around that pitch like an athlete now, doesn't he?
He was already an athlete.
He's tall and agile and strong and lean. He looks like he could pass as a footballer.
Welcome back to the Lose to Win podcast with myself, Josh, Jack, and Ben.
Oh, he's got the giggles. What's happened? I looked down for a second and you're giggling.
Yeah, no, it was Ben's face. But we're leaving this in. This is a good start to the pod.
It's always the little pregnant pause just before we do the intro, and I was waiting for Josh and give him the eyes.
Just like, what? What's going on?
Genuinely, I just looked down for 2 seconds and I just started giggling. Missed it. How are we,
Good
gents?
evening. Hello. Welcome all. Yeah, good. How are we all?
Yeah, all good, thank you, I think. Are we all a little bit... Josh is a little bit stressed and panicked and sorting out the teams, and he's had a bit of a day of it, for a Thursday night football.
For anyone who plays Thursday night football, I just want to say you will never have seen the pain in which Josh goes through to try and organise the teams. And today especially because there's been quite a few last-minute dropouts. So I hope you all appreciate the sterling work that he does, because he's got very stressed. And it's taken a good 20 minutes to sort that out.
It was stressful enough doing one pitch, let alone two. So it just doubled. If you had any hair, Josh, I think we would have witnessed you pulling it out.
Well, funny enough, I've been so stressed recently, I haven't actually shaved my head, so you might actually be able to see.
A little bit of fluff.
Yeah, a little bit of fluff that I've got. A little bit of fluff. So, yeah. No, it's not too bad. A little bit of stress a week is fine, but it's just, it's like all these things. When you're trying to arrange something for so many people, it can be a little bit.
Yes.
At least you remember
difficult
to book it this
sometimes.
Time.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Just throw the boot.
Check that. You might want to check that.
Let's just check that one.
Just had a quick panic check. He just grabbed the phone. Yeah.
Yeah, but definitely.
But you're not playing tonight, mate. You're still injured.
Yeah, different injury this time.
Oh, God.
So on the Sunday, which we can discuss now if you want, we had an 11s game. We had an 11s game away at Yeovil. They were very gracious. It was very good. It was opposite the Yeovil Town Football Club, so literally opposite their ground.
Man United played there, Josh.
Have they?
Yeah. Played away at Yeovil, yeah.
Fair enough. Not that I can remember. But
used to be a relatively good team. I think they were championship at one point, Ben, am I right?
Yeah. They were championship at one point.
Their
highest
didn't
stay there very long, though, I don't think.
No. Similar to Plymouth, I think. Plymouth, much bigger stadium and following, though, I think. But yeah. Sorry, Josh.
No. It's so it's opposite that. There's a nice little 3G. It's not as wide as a normal 11s.
That's what everybody said. It is quite literally a little 3G, isn't it? It's quite a bit. Funny shaped pitch.
It's a full length 11s, but it's on the minimum width of what's allowable, I think, for an 11s. There's probably half the distance, you would say, between the 18-yard box and the corner flag as there normally is.
Okay.
Oh, I see what you mean. Okay.
Yeah.
Saves the legs a bit then.
Did it make for a more compact match? Did it feel bunched?
At least width, yeah. So I think that helped us, to be honest. I'm not going to lie. We didn't have to do much running sideline to sideline so much. But at the same time, us Bournemouth lads then, so we won 4-1 against the Yeovil Man v Fat lads.
Yeah, very good.
And it was played in very good spirits. It was a very good game. There was a competitive edge, but never anything over the top. No one ever moaned at the ref or shouted or any way. There was no real. There was a couple of tough challenges, but that's what you expect in a game like that. But it was really good. We played really, really well. We knocked the ball around really, really well. Played some really good football. But there was a stretch. There were stretches, 10, 15 minutes a pop at the start of the second, and definitely at the end of the first half where we just had 80%, 90% of the ball.
Really?
Yeah.
Good.
Just knocking it around, and making the good pass rather than the, trying to play it through from.
We haven't had a
it's really good
game for a long time. So
I was trying to work out. I reckon it's at least a year.
Is it?
I don't think we had a proper. Obviously, we had the one that Paul asked us to help with against Southampton recently. Was it, Josh? Yep. But bar that, I don't think properly we've done one, because the last one was an away one, and we had Ramsey playing, and sure the last one was away. But yeah, it's something we're trying to sort out and do more regularly. It's just pitch availability, as I keep banging on about.
Yeah.
And I don't think Wimborne, it might have been Wimborne was the last one when we were not allowed back after the other team booted broke a sign.
That was against Eastleigh.
Yeah, chance
The
that
last
was-
one.
Nightmare.
Bloody hell. Okay.
Yeah.
Quite possibly.
Well, it was a good game, and they were very
that's
gracious
great.
hosts. They were very good, and yeah, it was played in good spirits. And they said to us, they're a bit like us. They don't often get a chance to do many 11s. They're not in the league, the Southern League, like we
Yeah.
aren't either. So, and they just want to get out and play some games,
Yeah.
just have
yeah.
in a man v fat style. They don't
Yeah.
want to, they're not there to like smash opponents and that kind of
Good.
thing. So,
No.
like we aren't. So, yeah, it was really good.
We'll have to have them over to us. I was
Yeah.
thinking
Yeah.
if we can't sort a Sunday afternoon pitch out or Sunday morning pitch out, I think we'll leave it until like mid to late April and potentially do it on grass, because there's quite a few grass pitches we'll be able to rent. Even at Slades, the grass pitches of the school are relatively good or capable of hosting. So yeah, we'll definitely return the favour. I did thank them and whatever. And you obviously met one of our podcast guests as well there, Josh. I presume you saw Aaron.
Yes, we did see Aaron briefly, although I have to admit, I didn't get to chat to him too much.
No.
So sorry, Aaron, if you're listening.
I was
yeah.
told Rob had him in his pocket. Rob did quite a job on him, did he?
Yeah. I mean, Rob does a job on everyone, really.
He
so I
does,
wouldn't
you're
say
right,
that's
yeah.
anything against Aaron. It was just more Rob just up and down like a madman in his usual style, and just gets to everything first. So I just think we did really well. But unfortunately, I got injured, so a little bit of a mix up between me and Gareth. To be honest, I'm not going to lie, it wasn't like I had any mad tackling. It was just we both went to kick a ball and kicked each other instead. So not gonna lie, in a bit of a get the ball out style from in our penalty box. So
oh dear,
the one of the couple of times I remember it bouncing in the area at all. So yeah, it's just unlucky. I think Gareth unfortunately has come off worse than me.
Oh no,
I'm not gonna lie, which is I think he's done his ankle quite badly.
Mate.
From what I remember, it's quite swollen at the moment. He won't be there tomorrow, as far as I understand it. Or he might be there to weigh in, but not to play. So, or today, I should say, for listeners.
11s does have that impact on.
Yeah.
We always find that Tuesday's quite leggy, isn't it? And then also it has that real effect on you. It's hard work, isn't it?
It's just so much further to run.
Well, I wasn't. To be fair, me and Gareth weren't the only people who got injured. I mean, Robbo was struggling a little bit. He was up on the floor. He was on the floor a few times. Can never really tell with Robbo, can you?
No.
That's the thing. He's on the floor, but I think he's still struggling with something. I know Kevin had a pretty hard tackle on his shoulder. He was in pain, and Bill was the same at one point, I think. And there's a few injuries, I would say, minor for most, but I think unfortunately, I know Gareth, you'll be listening. I'm sorry. I hope you get better soon, mate. But I think his ankle didn't come off too well. So
bless him.
Wow. Unfortunately, my foot, the top of my foot, which caught him, is swollen.
Your metatarsal.
And bruised and that.
You've done your metatarsal again.
Yeah. Well,
6 weeks, mate.
I don't think I've broken it. I think it's still swollen and bruised, but from Sunday still. But I'm not any pain in walking on it in any way or moving it in any real fashion.
So you will be there tomorrow
bending
night?
No. We were joking. I just left it in the chat for Dom to listen to, and I'm sure he'll listen just to make sure he was on his toes a little. But I don't think it's likely I'm playing tomorrow. I think it's very unlikely.
One thing after another.
It could be the next time I play is next Sunday if I'm fit enough to go to Southampton.
Southampton, yeah.
I'll be going anyway, but whether I can play or not is.
Mate.
Might have to do my Jose Mourinho stuff on the sideline instead. Sean Dyche shit rather for me, rather than anybody else.
Get yourself a dry road, mate.
Instead, but but it was a good game, and I really enjoyed it, and it was it's a good account of ourselves, and it was just
excellent. Well done, lads. Good. That's a great result. So well done to everyone who played.
I think we'll give Southampton a good game as well.
Yeah. And I will continue, or we will, as a management group of the 11s, continue to try and find some more fixtures for people. There seems to be an appetite for it. We've got a fair amount.
A few more players come into the league as well who are up for it. So that's good. Our pool of potential players has grown. So that's really good.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've obviously got the interclub that filled up like instantly. So that was really positive, and managed to persuade Slades, that's quite hard to say, to keep Slades. The lights on for an extra hour because they're starting to close it earlier on a Sunday. Just hope
Are they actually going to
stay
leave him on,
for
though?
well, that's
Are
the
they
question,
actually going
isn't
to
it?
leave him on?
Well, I've paid for it, so I'll be absolutely fuming if they don't. And we've got the full pitch, and I'm not expecting anybody else to try share it with us again and all of that. But you just never know with them.
Yeah.
Fantastic venue, one of the best pitches I've played on, and setups. It's ideal for us. They just can't get it right for us for some reason. But that's a long story for another day.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed, mate.
So, on to the roundup. We'll start
Yep.
that first, Josh, or should we mention the missed opportunity last week to mention somebody else? Which would you prefer?
Okay, yeah, should we do that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go on, mate.
So we need to mention another. So we did have the grand reveal of my good friend and fellow Purple Matthew Waterman being invited onto the what's it called again?
The Amazing Losers.
Amazing
Losers
Losers, the
match,
official
which
term,
which is a fantastic accolade and achievement. But of course, we didn't know about another one. So we were informed on Friday by Steve that we were a bit premature in our announcing that. So we apologise to big Tom Marks, who has also had an invite. From the Blacks, currently in the Blacks, Tom Marks, who's lost a ridiculous amount of weight, was on here not so long ago, wasn't he? A few weeks back, Tom was on as a guest. He too has had an invite to the Amazing Losers match. So congratulations to him, mate. To you, mate, and you and Matt will go out there and smash it. And it'd be nice to have a teammate there. So two Bournemouth lads smashing it up.
Tom's played it smart as well because he's put himself down as a goalkeeper, so the chances
played
are he'll get the full game playing rather than being sitting on the bench getting cold or whatever. I suppose it won't be that cold, but sitting on the bench is definitely the way to do it. If you're any good in goal, it's worth trying that way. So well done, Tom, mate. Thoroughly deserved. Brilliant. And as mentioned before, if timings work and whatever, I'd like to come up and support you guys. Do it, and I'm sure a few others will too.
Yeah, be brilliant. And I'm fairly sure there could have been a couple of more. Really, I don't know how they. We have this conversation constantly about how they work out who can and can't do it. I mean, they must cast the net quite widely.
Yeah, they change it every year,
depending on how many they've got, I guess. But they must cast the net wide, and then if people can't come, then they must have a reserves list or whatever.
I'm sure they've got people that will say I can't make it, and they have a extensive list of people. I'm sure they can continue to call, but it's sick. Do we know if it's definitely this night before the awards or?
I can't remember. To be honest, I didn't check, and I probably should have done, but I didn't.
No, it's okay. It's all good. So yeah, I'm sure we will work out a way. I'm sure you'll be looking to go and support Matt, and I'm happy to come along and support the boys as well.
I won't care anymore.
Oh yeah, I know that feeling. Yeah.
But I might have Tom in my team if he continues. So in which case, I might have to go and support Tom.
You never know. You might get stuck with Matt again.
We might get Matty. We might get stuck together again. You never know.
Excellent. Well. So should we jump into the roundup then, Josh, if you're ready?
Yes. Well, it was Valentine's Day, wasn't it, on Friday?
Was it?
And quite a few people, yeah, right. Many people managed to turn up. 66, I think, actually, people managed to turn up and disappoint their partners, I would have thought, for football instead. So, as Steve has put it, love is in the air at the Stadium of Becoming Light, which I think is his now new term for our... yeah, I know. Shaking your head, Ben.
It's a big sigh of...
I quite like it. I think it's a good pun.
Yeah.
Creep.
Stadium Becoming Light, although with ref Ian, welcome back Ian, by the way, handing out a blue card to go with all the Valentine's ones, the course of true love wasn't without a bump or two in the road. So only 46 players lost weight out of the 66 who were shunning their other halves in order to honour their love of the beautiful game and their pursuit of the beautiful frame, as Steve puts it. So, see,
that's funny.
See, that's good. Yeah, I feel like I'm being unfair, Steve. By the way, apologies. We're like admonishing your writing, which is not fair at all. It's good. It's really good. I enjoy it. We all enjoy it. We all look forward to it, don't we? We always say this, don't we?
We do.
So, anyway, the results. So the Blues, you won 18-9 against the Whites.
It's a big win.
This game, big win. The Greens won 8-4 against the Reds. The Purples, your Purples, Ben, won a tight one between us, 10-9 against us Yellows.
Mate, wasn't it tight?
I know. And the Oranges won 13-11 against the Blacks.
A close one as well.
Yeah.
Well done. Sorry, I was muted when you said about the Blues because I did give a little cheer. I muted myself because the bastard dogs keep barking. So I started talking and nobody heard anything. So
It's a high score, mate.
Up
Very
the
well
Blues.
done. Yeah,
It is.
Yeah, really
It
high
is a
score.
Very good game. Yeah.
Didn't you?
I know
There
the
was a
Oranges-
ridiculous pitch score, wasn't there? So it was, what was it, like 8-0 or something?
No, I don't think it was
5-0, I think.
It wasn't
It was
2.
5-0.
Okay.
Which is a big score. Don't get me wrong, it
That's
is a big score.
score.
But the margin grew between that and off the pitch as well, which I'm sure we'll come to in the roundup. Ours was really tight when it then. Well,
so tight. Well, we can talk about it. It was bonkers.
It was so ours was a 0-0 draw in the end. Our on pitch stuff, and you beat us by
how.
1 goal off the pitch.
Yeah.
To win, and yeah, you mean you say you don't know how. I think I'd like to just say I'm very proud of our Yellows team for holding on to a 0-0 draw because we were excellent in terms of covering. We were very well organised. We were excellent in covering our box, but at the same time, Ryan was absolutely on fire. So he saved us in a couple of spots, definitely many. But at the same time, I think we also did a pretty good job in keeping those chances. Many shots, but not all of them were absolutely killer chances.
No, there was a good 4 or 5 that I think were pretty much nailed on, and he scooped it out of the air or just ran it down. And Joggs certainly powered a couple if he just got in the way and completely smashed it.
You know, as the game went on, I think we were just more and more proud of how we managed to keep it under wraps, and we could have nicked it at the end.
You could have
nicked it. I think we had 2 shots all game.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I think we hit the post 2 or 3 times. Ryan clawed one out that was going top bins from me from about 30 yards.
Yeah.
Each.
After it took a deflection off me, you mean?
No, it was straight as a die, mate.
Yeah.
Everyone thought it was in, and then all of a sudden this little hand came up and just tipped it over the bar. Fuming.
I'm pretty confident it came off me because I was in front of you. But yeah, it was a great strike. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying,
it was a really good game though.
Ryan did a very good job.
Yeah, it was a really good game. And kudos to you boys for that, because that was quite a pounding at that end of the pitch.
Yeah. So, well, we took that pounding well, shall we say?
You did. Ben. You did. You did, mate.
Like a pro.
To come out,
like body blue.
It's a bit unlucky, really, for you to lose that by 1, to be honest.
I think so. Because I don't think so far our team has deserved to be. I think we're one of the only teams who've got 0 points in the main league. And I don't think that's reflective of our performances this season.
No.
We've had a couple of weeks. I mean, every week in theory, because of some people have been away at just random weeks at a time. We've had people come back and maybe they put a little bit weight on, etc. So it's just timing in some of it, really, where we haven't just had 1 week where we've all managed to get it all together off the pitch and do really well on the pitch.
Yeah.
So it's just
that's the luck element, And
but yeah, that's what I'm saying. But
that's just you on the wrong side of that, unfortunately.
But everyone keeps going, and
and that's the main thing.
So
keep them all together.
It's good, exactly.
Yeah.
Anyway, 27 survivor goals were scored in last man standing, because that went this last week.
Yeah.
And they had a definitive impact on the week's results. So Purples squeezed past Yellows by a single goal, having 1 more last man standing survivor. So there you go. As well as 1 more hat-trick than our opposition. So with the pitch score a rare 0-0, as we've been mentioning ad nauseum for the last 10 minutes, the impressive scales performance from both teams, 12 players losing out of the 15 between us 2 teams.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Became even more crucial. The Greens had a comfortable 4-goal win against Reds, but without LMS and hat-tricks, it would have been a draw or a win for Reds without ringer penalties.
Yeah.
Most impressively, the game between the Blacks and Oranges saw 10 survivor goals.
Wow.
With the 6-4 split in favour of Oranges proving decisive. And exactly, it's a 2-goal swing that way and a 2-goal swing in the overall result.
Oranges are the ones to keep an eye on then, aren't they? With 6.
Yeah, definitely.
6 left in there. That will pay dividends soon, won't it?
Yeah.
It will, yeah.
In there. The Oranges also had 1 more hat-trick than the Blacks, who will be frustrated at coming so close to taking the spoils after a 3-1 pitch win. The Blues then, Jack, who scored 18 goals for the 2nd week running, were this week's biggest losers, shedding 4.2 kilos with 8 out of 10 moving in the right direction.
Well done, mate.
The whites lost 3.7 kilos, 7 out of 8, while the yellows, 6 out of 7, and the purples, 6 out of 8, were similarly consistent.
Good.
No milestones this week.
No.
But 18 players completed hat-tricks, including 6 notching their second treble of the season in the quickest possible time. So very good going there.
Really
Then
good.
6 went out of last man standing, leaving 27 remaining, as we mentioned, 8 of whom still have a grace week. The next survivor goals will come when the 27 drop to 15, and at that point the remaining players will score a goal every week they stay in the competition.
Yeah, that's a real kicker, that one.
Yeah. As we mentioned, oranges have the most, remaining with 6, followed by the whites with 5, blues and blacks with 4 each, greens and purples with 3, and yellows with 2, and reds sadly without a representative, having lost their last survivor this week.
They've really struggled, haven't they, for numbers.
This is where it takes
They've
a
had
while
some
for those
unfortunate injuries.
last man standing ones to kick in as well. 27 down to 15 is a big jump in it now.
It is, yeah.
People
Yeah.
hanging around. How many did we have last? We had like 10 people finish the season last season, didn't we? So it gives you an idea of there's not much of a swing now. They only really come into play towards the real end of the season, I think now.
Especially with 8 grace weeks as well.
Yes, good point. Yeah. Amazing.
Could be a while.
Yeah.
Yes, could be. But that's a testament to those 27 who still remain, that they've gone as far as week 6 already without losing any weight. Well, gaining any weight more than once anyway. So, and in particular those 8, as you mentioned, with the grace week still.
Yeah,
So,
fantastic.
I can imagine them going all the way.
You would think so.
We shall see.
Yeah.
I still have my grace week intact somehow.
Very good going.
I'm pretty happy with. It's probably the longest it's lasted for me in terms of last man standing. So,
well done,
keep
mate.
going.
Well done.
I want to get that.
Very well
get
done.
to the end of the season with that.
Yeah, try, mate. It's a good thing to try and keep a hold of. That's what kept me going last season. To be fair, I was just a bit annoyed I missed it on the last game of the season. I didn't get the whole way. Just lost it on the last week.
Oh, killer.
Yeah, which is a bit of a biatch. Hey, I'm not even in it this season, so.
You're not.
Nor am I anymore.
Yeah. Well, I missed the first week back, and then I was up obviously after Christmas, so no chance, nowhere near
nothing
it.
you could do. Yeah.
No.
It's unfortunate.
But hey ho,
Yeah.
Can't
Keep
win them
going.
all. Can't win them all,
Yeah.
Joshy.
Well, speaking of trying to win them all, your Blues, mate, they're top 2 of the 3 leagues, the main and the pitch, although in each case it's only by goal difference, separating them from your nearest rivals. So oranges for the main league, that would be, and blacks and greens for the pitch.
The goal difference is significant on the. Sorry to jump in. It goes from 33 to 13.
Yeah, that can be easily pulled back there, mate. What happened last season? We had the similar sort of goal difference, and then oranges went
rein you in
it all in one week.
It's what oranges will do.
37 goals or whatever it was in one game.
It's oranges again, obviously nipping at our heels. Like I say, with 6 to win last man standing, they're the ones that could, like you say, bang on. They are the ones that can turn things around quickly. They've proven that.
If that drop comes in, if that LMS drop comes in when there's a bonus goals week, then that's the kicker.
Flying then, aren't they? Yeah.
So, yeah. That's good.
Exciting times. Keeps it interesting.
It's quite tight though. I think there's still all to play for from.
Absolutely.
From most of the teams. We're only halfway through the season, so there's plenty to play for, lads. Plenty to play for. Don't give up.
Got it.
Indeed, yeah.
Just realised, Ben, because your an hour game is the last game of the first half. That means, if I'm right, which I am, we are the last game of the season. Purples versus Blues.
We are, mate. We are.
Wow.
Might be all over by that point, buddy.
Well, it might not be, though.
It might not be.
We'll see.
It's funny, by then, the last game of the season, you'll know who you'll be playing with next season.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, will we though? Because we'll have a week off in between. Will it already be announced by that point?
Okay, maybe I'm getting ahead of myself.
You're going to get told off again.
Yeah, I'm going to get told off.
Yeah, Josh has spilled the beans.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
We get a regular wrist wrapping when we go in on a Friday night for something that we've cocked up.
Anyway, No, I'm pure speculation here. I have not spoken to any of the powers that be.
Backtrack.
You've not got your lists out already. You're not working it all out.
Funnily enough, no, but it would not put it past me in the next few weeks to start looking, even though it has nothing to do with me. So I would suspect, even with that week off, because we've got, as we mentioned, Easter Friday or whatever it is, that we would probably find out before, or if just around. Well, yeah, we might find out after, to be honest, because we'll have 2 weeks, as you say. I think it just depends on when Man v Fat want to do it, because they've kind of taken a bit of more control about when it comes out, when we start seasons and things like that.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Cool.
Anyway, I should mention that the Oranges lead the Scales League. They're 2 points ahead of your Blues and Purples. Blues can also claim the honour of being the team to lose the most weight so far this season, 9.6 kilos, just 0.4 ahead of the Whites. Blacks are the only other team with a collective loss, as we continue to battle against the effects of starting the season immediately after Christmas. So I must admit, I'm not sure where we are collectively with the total loss figures.
Over, haven't we? We've just crept back into a loss, not by much.
I'm not sure we have.
No, I thought we had just. Might be wrong though.
It's amazing.
Check now. Oh yeah, you're right. You're right. Sorry, you're right.
I didn't expect it to take this long into the season to right the wrongs of Christmas as a collective.
Well, it was 130 odd kilos, and if you remember,
so that's 2 kilos.
That's a lot.
I mean, it's half a season on average for us. We've never hit a 300 kilo season, so you can see that is at least half a season for us.
And it kind of works out now.
And kind of, so we have now lost essentially since week 1 130 odd 0.3 because we're now 0.3 of a kilo in positive figures.
Yeah.
So Ben was correct. We have just ticked over to lose the thing, to get back on the good side of things, essentially.
Yeah.
So and then Easter falls in it as well.
Well, yeah, end of season, fortunately.
Remember, Josh loves eggs, everybody. Don't forget to buy
don't forget the eggs. He loves his eggs. Get them in.
I hope you mean chocolate eggs, right? Because I can't.
Yeah, definitely.
You thought we'd forgotten.
Oh God.
Yeah. Anyway, literally just tipped over 0.3 kilos.
Yeah, exactly. So, Blacks, by the way, I should say. I did mention that they're the only other team. So as I mentioned, White Sand Blacks are the only team to be on the collective side of a loss, essentially, with you, mate, your Blues, Jack. So
yeah,
it's only 3 teams essentially on the collective side, but as we mentioned, 9.3 of a kilo into good side total. Yeah. So team of the week, Sam Troughton leads the team of the week with an impressive 2.8 kilo loss.
Well done,
Sam.
Dan Lloyd and Danny Pidgley both keep their places from last week. So here's the full lineup. So we have Sam Troughton on 2.8. Liam Goodall lost 2 kilos. Dan Lloyd lost 1.8 kilos. John Costa lost 1.8 kilos.
How?
Josh Buxton getting back into it. Yeah, I know, right. Josh Buxton get back into it, 1.7 kilos.
Yes, Joshy.
Fair play, mate.
Danny Pidgley 1.5, and Brian Daly, Neil Puttick, and Ryan Broadbank all lost 1.2 kilos.
Very good.
Guys.
Very good going there.
Just on John Costa, he generally glides around that pitch like an athlete now, doesn't he?
He was already an athlete. I said this before.
He went in goal this week as well for a bit.
He's tall and agile and strong and lean. He looks like he could pass as a footballer. Like
definitely.
Josh, you've mentioned a couple of times you're taken aback by when you see a footballer out in the wild and they're kind of like, oh, he's quite a bit taller than I expected and he's quite a bit leaner than I expected. John Costa looks like a footballer now. He absolutely is so an unbelievable footballer as well. He's done so well, isn't he?
Yeah, amazing. I think I don't know. He's obviously loved John, quiet man, and I'm not sure he listens to the pod. But if you are listening, John, I obviously when we came into the league, I know he felt like he needed to lose a little bit of his weight, and I think he probably didn't quite realise how much he'd be getting into it.
Yeah,
that makes sense, because I know he loves to play football, but he's, I don't think maybe he realised how much he felt he was going to get out of it.
Yeah.
But now when he has lost quite a bit of weight still. I mean, I don't know precisely how much it is, but it's a couple of stone, 2 or 3 stone at least, I would have thought.
Yeah.
Fair play.
To get to where he is. So he's done absolutely amazing.
He's a frame of a man, isn't he?
Yeah, but now he's quite light, isn't he? He's already quite muscular guy.
Yeah.
And I think it just, I wouldn't, you would never really think he would be in a weight loss league, would you?
No, definitely not.
Where he is at all. So he's done amazing to get to where he is, and long may it continue, mate. And as you say, he's a good footballer, and being as powerful and strong, as fast and as lean as he is
his maintenance number. I don't think he would carry it so well. I think he carries how he is now. I don't think getting down to that number is going to be quite right for him. If that makes sense. Yeah. And that's only a personal opinion on it, but he the way that he's built is just he's a broad fella, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So
special mention on that list for Team of the Week, by the way, to Neil Puttick.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
He's been struggling, well, not struggling, but he has struggled in recent times, plateauing and putting a little bit on, taking a little bit off, and he's tried he had a chat to Harry, and he's tried the ready meal scenario, and that was the first week he did it, and he dropped 1.2 kilos. So
wow,
yeah,
portion control is a big part of that.
Yeah, definitely,
real big part of that. Definitely. I think so. Well done, mate.
Yeah, really good.
I've been saying to myself, actually, because I've lost my way recently. I said to Steve on Friday, actually, that I'm actually not far off the heaviest I've been since I've been here.
Really?
Yeah, I'm actually not far off that. And before, as I said to you guys, when I got down to, I was about 107 before I went on holiday last year. So the awards we went to, etc. It's about at the end of one of the rotations, so 2 rotations ago now, 2.5 seasons ago.
And you bought a new suit then as well, and you were
exactly
trim.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. That was close to the lightest I've been in a decade at the time.
Yeah.
And I basically just slowly put it back on over the since then, basically.
Yeah.
So I'm not miles off where I started. I have lost weight technically overall since I've been here.
Yeah.
But you haven't put weight on, mate. Think about where you might have been without it. That's the important thing to remember.
I completely get that. But obviously there's an element of where I was 8 months ago to where I am now. There's an element of like, you've got to look at it and be honest with yourself. You can't be can't be sitting there and going, look, I'm at least 10 kilos heavier than I was. I've got to sort it out. It's not like
both of us can be honest with you as well, mate. And you being honest, you've proven to yourself that you can do it.
Yeah.
So
exactly. So I just need to get back into that groove again.
Mate. I'm sure you can.
And I think from what I remember correctly last time, what suited me was I started slowly, in terms of I didn't change everything drastically. I started to, because what I've got into the habit of doing now is I had done so many slow little incremental things to a point where I was like always cooking, for example. Which is fine. You should, in theory, always be cooking. But sometimes the stress and the time I have to actually do that puts its toll on you. And I feel like maybe I would have been better off not cooking, but doing something like a ready meal, which is easy. I can just chuck it in and do that a little bit more often to keep myself in a routine and keep going, rather than going, I'm just going to try and keep cooking. And then on the days where I struggle to do that, I jump immediately back to, I'm going to get some, naughty things, rather than an in between, which would have been, And so I think I need to start back at the start again and go, okay, so let's go from where I am to just not necessarily thinking about like precisely everything I'm putting in my body. Let's just start thinking about the calories I'm consuming and try and keep my portion control. And it might be that ready meals is the best way to do it, as has been mentioned. Start from there and then slowly phase out 1 or 2 ready meals a week for something I'm cooking when I've got time, and then build up again.
Copy the meal that you're eating, if that makes sense. Find your own way of cooking that ready meal with a similar sort of portions.
Yeah.
And you find something that's now freshly cooked by you, rather than by Mr. Microwave himself. Mate, you'll turn it around. 100% you will. And
I'm confident I will, but it is frustrating, as you can imagine. You guys, I'm sure, have been there.
100%, 100%, mate.
So
one thing I was going to mention and I know we're going off piece a little bit. One thing I was going to mention is obviously off the back of the chat last week we had about motivating our teams and staying motivated at difficult times, and obviously you mentioned where yellows are. How do you feel after last week? Because I had a few people, Jimmy especially, message separately saying like thank you, appreciate kind of the words, and gave him some fresh impetus. On the flip side of it, Josh, without saying see you later yellows, how do you feel about the pending team change? Is that something that you kind of go, there's a good opportunity as a stake in the ground to move on again?
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest. I'm going to use this podcast to be honest. I don't want to be, but I also don't want to be unfair on where I am currently. No. I feel like it would be good for quite a few people in our team, not just myself, to have a reset, a refresh. But I don't think that's because anyone has lost their way per se, although I'd probably say I have on some level. I think it's literally just because we've just had a bit of a struggle with a bad, as we mentioned, some people have been off on holiday, some people have come back, we have injuries, we've had people away on work, things like this, and getting that team cohesion together and moving on together as a full group has been difficult in a stop-start kind of team mesh all season, etc. So I think everyone could do with just a bit more consistency, and I'm not saying just a new rotation will bring that, because there are ways of trying to get that without having a new rotation. But I do see that we are at the moment still probably, from what I can tell, going to struggle with this inconsistency in our team, and that till the end of the season, I would have thought.
Okay.
In terms of just who's there each week and how we can build together. But that doesn't mean we can't, in our own way, do our own thing, exactly as we were mentioning last week.
Yeah.
So I don't think this isn't like the end of our season. In no way am I saying that at all, and we've been doing well in our own. Some of us, as I say, it's just been inconsistent. So it's a case of we haven't had 1 week where all of us are doing well on both ends of it.
Yeah.
I think we just need to come together on that. So there's, in theory, in honesty, yes, there's an element of a new rotation will always bring that kind of potentially fresh motivation, fresh consistency in you as a team, because generally speaking, everyone's a little bit more motivated, a little bit more like, okay, this is a fresh start for all of us now to just move forward together, and you build a team around that, don't you? You build that cohesion around the fact that you're a new team and you've all got everything together and you all want to push together. I think when you get to a third season and you've been a little bit up and hit and miss, you can lose some of that.
Yeah.
So it's difficult to balance, really, because I'm not unmotivated or uncommitted to the team I'm on at all. I never have been and never will be for any team I'm ever on. Week to week, day to day, I always try. But I have personally just lost something in the last several months, and that's nothing to do with the team.
No, of course not.
No.
Success breeds success as well.
Yeah, exactly. It's nothing to do with the team. It's nothing to do with the
well.
people on it. Exactly. Yeah. It's nothing to do with that. And so I want to make that very clear to any of the yellows listening. It's nothing to do with that at all.
It wasn't. I didn't set you up for a fool there, mate. I'm sorry.
It's more a case of it can be beneficial to have that.
Yes, of course it can, and that's why they do it.
We've just lacked that little bit.
But that's exactly why they do it.
The experienced guys in your team will know well enough. Like Neil's seen them all, isn't he? So he'll know what the change does for a team, and it's not to be feared, it's to be looked forward to, and it does give everybody a fresh start. From your perspective, Ben, obviously you're in a position that you've got 3 maintenance players now.
2.
1 maybe on the cusp, I guess.
We've got one more. Matty dropped out. Matty dropped out quite a long way out. He's been struggling a little bit since Christmas.
Oh, I see. Okay.
And then Jace is getting close, but he's totally under the radar, and he's not trying to get there. He is literally just doing what he does bit by bit, a little bit, and if he gets there, he gets there. There's absolutely no pressure. He's been really consistent this season, using a few 100 grams every week, and he's happy doing that. So you know, there's no pressure for him. If he gets there, then happy days. But we will have 3 then. But if he doesn't, then that's no problem either. No. He's been really consistent and really good. So, but it does help, of course, having players in maintenance helps.
Yeah, because you've been as a team, you've been a pretty successful juggernaut based on what you've lost in terms of your team and individually, haven't you? You've got people that have made great shakes and as a team done brilliant things. It's funny because our kind of mojo, we've been there or thereabouts a couple of seasons, or the previous 2 seasons, but this season we just feels like it's kicked on another notch, clicked. If that makes sense. And that's it's such a, and this is where I say to Josh, it's about that, to you Josh, it's about the success breeding success, where the conversations are completely different to how they were last season. We're back to sharing exercises. Jordan cycled to work every day this week because it's half term and he can do that, and so he's sharing his Strava, his bike ride. People are sharing the meals, sharing the calories, all those sorts of things. It's just such a positive way of doing it, and I get how things can die down and the excitement around it and the impetus around it can waver a little bit and slow down a little bit. At times it can really peak as well, isn't it? So making the most of it whilst the make hay while the sun shines, I should say. I think that's what I'm trying to say, is that support each other with that, and it will pay you back. Honestly, it will.
Yeah, definitely. You can't. It's really difficult one, that, because you can't force it. Do you know what I mean? No. It's one of those things that kind of happens organically, you know. And the people have got to engage. And it's not for everyone. That's the fact. At the end of the day, it's not for everyone. You know, engaging in WhatsApp groups. I mean, with the amount of groups we've got, engaging in those groups is not for everybody. Some people, are tech phobic. They don't want to have to engage in that. They don't want to have to do that. They want to do what they want to do. They want to turn up on a Friday. Hopefully, have lost a bit of weight, play a bit of football. You know, and some people are all in. You know, some people are there every day, texting, talking, chatting, blah blah blah. And so it's finding a nice balance of engaging with the process as well as engaging with your team members. So it's a difficult one because obviously, like you say, Jack, when everyone's all in, it starts to work. And when you're winning games and you're consistently winning games, you know, that breeds confidence. And that's like anything else. If you're winning games, it breeds confidence, and so that helps for the next week. As soon as you start going on a losing run, as well, we know with normal football, if you're on a losing run, it's difficult to break that and get that motivation to come out of it. So it's like, I would go back to what we said last week, about reassessing and just reassessing where you're at and why you're there. And if you feel like maybe you're not engaging with the process as well as you should, maybe you should try and do that. Otherwise, the question as to why you're doing it in the first place, because it is a part of it.
Very well said, mate. Absolutely.
So,
Had you finished the roundup, Josh, or not?
No,
I hadn't. But
I didn't think
so. All I was going to say in the only part of the roundup really was that, as we mentioned, this was the week we tipped it in the right direction, as expected. It was a disappointing club total loss this week, though. So we'd already tipped it, essentially.
Oh, right, okay.
So 8.3 kilos lost. Sorry, I say that the wrong way around. So we had done 8.3 kilos this week to just tip it into 0.3 of a kilo loss total. So that's well down on previous weeks, but it does put us on the right side of where we were. So we've got 8 weeks remaining. Yeah. So we're coming thick and fast into the end of the part of the season. More importantly, for our own individual sakes, let's aim for some steady, sustainable weight loss, as we were mentioning. As our other halves will doubtless agree, speed isn't everything, and good guys don't always finish first.
Very true.
Very true. Yeah. Very true.
I'm sure there's something a little bit unhanded in that comment, but
quite possibly. A little bit of blue. A little bit of blue for the dads.
Anyway, one thing I was just going to quickly cover, although we don't really have to, because it is the reset of the belt week, so the first week back from our WWE belts, so round 2 of the WWE
Did you
belts.
present them last week? I didn't
well,
see
we presented one belt to the only person who was there.
Oh.
And then he gave it back to us for us to get the guy's name on it.
Excellent.
He would have kept it otherwise. He would 100%.
Okay.
I need to find the photo. I don't know if I shared the photo or if it was shared to the group.
Took one. So
yes, we'll have somebody send it over for sure.
Who was that then? Ryan, was it?
Yeah,
Ryan Broadbank.
Yes, deservedly the heavyweight champ.
Yeah, well done,
for that one. So he moves into the middleweight, actually, I think, this time. So for this time, just to say for lightweight, then top of that is Brian Daly with 1.2, then Jason Court and Matt Waterman both 0.7 kilo loss this last week.
Good.
The middleweight 1.8 is Jordan Costa, then Danny Pidgeon on 1.5 and Neil Puttick on 1.2. And then the heavyweight, Sam Troughton lost 2.8, Liam Goodall lost 2 kilos, and Dan Lloyd lost 1.8. So that's mostly team of the week plus a couple of others from there. So as you can imagine.
Yeah.
We move on. So that will be the end of week 9 or week 9 weigh in.
Yeah.
Sorry, Jack's just sent a picture of Ryan with his belt.
He's aiming for that next one now. Now he's moved category. He could be a two-time two-weight world champion.
Back to back.
I don't know how disappointed the lads were Ryan was in the belt. It genuinely is the little kids.
We all enjoyed it, mate. It's great. It's great. We are going to get names sorted. That's reminded me to sort it on the list of other things I need to do. That's a name sorting for them, definitely.
Yeah. Well, this pod, lads, is obviously going to be a little bit of a shorter one because of the time we started and the time we have.
Yeah.
So we have about 10 minutes left to have a bit of a discussion. Was there anything specific you guys wanted to talk about, or did we want to cover any big news in the world of football? Any big news in anything really to talk about? We don't really want to talk politics, but
biggest news in fantasy football is that I'm now top of our league.
Yeah, let's do fantasy football. Yeah, let's do fantasy football. I'm fine with that because I've done well this week. I'm happy to talk about it. I'm not going to turn off.
Fantasy football then.
Come on.
Big weeks all around, really.
It was big, yeah.
Yeah.
So Ben, yes, you are top of our Man v Fat Bournemouth Fantasy League.
Here comes
and yours as well, your other one.
Yeah.
Well done, mate.
Only by a couple of goals, to be fair.
Yeah.
Sorry, a couple of points.
So yeah, you're 3 points ahead of Ruben on the Man v Fat Bournemouth one.
Yeah.
And that's 8 points ahead. No, sorry. 5 points ahead of me.
Yeah.
In third. Yeah.
It's tight.
It's very tight because
it is really tight.
Craig is within 10 points of you.
Craig's has a couple of good ones, isn't he?
Yeah, as well.
The top
he's fifth.
5.
So his top 5 are covered by less than 10 points.
Yeah.
Wow. So it's very, very
very
close. Yeah. But yeah, the usual suspects returned, I guess. Salah and Liverpool. He had 2 games. So Salah captain netted you 40 points on its own.
Yeah.
If anyone triple captain, it's 60. So very well done.
Fair play.
Then you've got some assistant manager stuff which some people used. Emery would have beaten Slot.
Yeah,
by a point.
Emery.
Yeah, by a point. So Slot a win and a draw, and Emery had 2 draws, isn't it? But because one of them was against Liverpool, it's table bonus for that.
Yeah.
Watkins, I brought in Watkins and Ouattara. I brought Ouattara for Bruno Fernandes and
that paid off.
To get rid of. Yeah, I was going to say and Dye. So Dye was injured, but that netted me a total difference of 16 points more.
Yeah,
that's with a -4 as well, so it would have been 20.
And you got snuck in Did you sneak in a Trent goal at the end as well?
Yes, a Trent. Oh yeah, love that. So Trent
and Salah assist.
I was so cross.
Trent comes off on 60.
Of all the people.
In the first game, I love this. He gets a clean sheet. Yeah, 60 minutes. Gets subbed off 63 minutes, and then they concede a minute later, so he's locked in for a clean sheet.
Yeah.
The second game, he scores a goal, and then he gets subbed off. So.
I was like, God damn it.
I managed 99 with two blanks on my team with Hall and Unano, who didn't actually play either of the games.
Nice
it's who all I could afford from Villa, and I wanted to get somebody in, so I picked the wrong one, I think. But still 99. I had
I felt a bit sorry for Rubes because he had Marmouche. He brought Marmouche
he's
and left him on the bench.
Oh no!
But not just on the bench. He left him as his last pick on the bench as well.
No way, really?
Yeah. So he didn't even come in because Bailey didn't play. So
I was going to say I love the fact that if he had him first on the bench, he would have been crushing us both. Yeah,
completely.
So I got 105 this week. Ben, you got 103, didn't you?
103, yeah.
So we had some good weeks as well. I
cocked up a little bit. I brought Ramsey in. I thought Ramsey would play a bit more of a part, and in fact, he did score in the game against Liverpool, but it was ruled offside. I was fuming.
Killer.
Yeah.
I think Ruben should take a screenshot of that week or this week on the week that he lost it. The week that Mahmoud's done him over.
It's funny, actually. So in terms of thinking about players to bring in, Bournemouth players are still quite high up the list because they play in 29, so they don't blank, and they've got some really good fixtures still.
Yeah.
So, your Kluiverts, your Wataras, your Semenyos, etc., Howson, Kirkers, if you can afford him, things like that.
Yeah.
So they're good picks. I would now start thinking about who you're going to transfer out who isn't playing in game week 29.
Yeah.
Especially if you don't have a free hit or a wild card to use, because there'll be a few teams in there. So Villa, Liverpool, Palace, is it Newcastle as well?
Yeah.
All of them aren't playing in game week 29. So just to give you an idea from my team, that means I'm going to be missing Watkins, Rodgers, Isak, Salah, Trent, Munoz at a minimum.
That's a lot, isn't it?
So I need to start thinking
Just
about
for
transferring
29.
them out. Yeah, just for 29. So obviously, in theory, you want to keep the ones that you want to keep long term. So your Isak and Salah, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But it just means you have to bench them. So you need to get rid of the others basically in the meantime for some other people.
Yeah.
I'm fortunate enough to have a free hit and a wild card and things like that.
Me too.
But I won't be using it in gaming 29. I'll be using free either of them.
You're gonna dead end it in wildcard in 30.
Yeah, so dead end, which essentially means I'm going to make transfers to
Bring in players that will play.
Yeah, bring in players that will play essentially, and get rid of players that aren't going to play until on 29. So I've got a full team out there.
Yeah.
And then I will use my wild card in 31 or 32, something like that, to change the team around. So bring back some of those players I transferred out if I want to keep them long term and change it up a little.
Yeah, nice.
So I'll say this right now: there is a genuine chance, I get rid of Salah in game week 29 and never bring him back.
What?
Wow.
That's bold.
At least for a few weeks.
That's never then. That's not never then.
Well, no, but there's only so many weeks left of the season.
Yeah,
so, when I say never, by the way, say never bring him back, he won't be in the Prem next season anyway, so it doesn't matter, does it?
He'll be playing in Saudi.
So this could be his last hurrah. He's, by the way, just to put as a point, Salah's on to smash the all-time top-scoring fantasy record. I think he's on to say, he needs to score like 4 points a game between now and the end of the season in fantasy terms.
Well, he's going to do that.
And he's been scoring 10 or something like close to 10 points or 11 points a game on average. So I think he's going to break the record.
I binned off Palmer this week.
That's
quite a few people have been doing that.
Yeah.
He'll score a hat trick this week. Then you know that because they've got rid of him. That's what will happen.
I will just say to Jack, he is about to play. Okay, he's got Aston Villa this week.
I've gone too soon, I know.
But he is about to play Southampton at home and Leicester at home in the next 3. So that's the reason why I'm keeping him, because that's and also because I don't have a good captain, I don't think, for those weeks. Salah's been really good, but
he was a really good mate weight for me to be able to bring in. I've now got a front three of Isak, Watkins and Wood. So that kind of gave me that luxury.
Yeah, that makes complete sense. I mean, again, I say I got rid of Salah in 29. It's equally viable I get rid of Palmer. It's just that because I need to be able to afford to get Haaland, I think I'm going to try and get Haaland back in. They're no longer. They've only got FA Cup. Sorry, say that again.
Wait and see how his knee is. He didn't come on against Real Madrid at all last night.
If he's fit, obviously. But I'm talking like weeks ahead, so it won't be till game 29. So if he's fit and he's back in the team from game week 29 onwards, they're only going to be focused on the Premier League and the FA Cup. They're not in anything else. And so far as I remember, FA Cup weekends are not on Prem week. They're on Prem weekends. So as in, he should be playing once every 7 days, basically.
Yeah.
So he will never ever, if he's fit, he's never going to be benched. So it's a case of I have only one thing to focus on. They've got a fantastic run of games and they're going to have a double, I think, and things like this. So he's just a good shout, basically, but not for a few weeks. So, what
makes you think they'll have a double?
I think is it a double? I think because of when they go through FA Cup. Assuming they
Ah.
go through in the FA Cup, they will have a double game week.
Of course, they do a weekend. They do both, don't they? Do a Premier
Yeah.
League and FA Cup weekend because of catch-ups and stuff. Yeah, I remember
Exactly. So they'll own.
now. Okay.
I said in one breath he'll only play once every 7 days, but there will be 1 week where he plays twice in 3 days or 4 days.
Yeah.
But it'll only 1 week. So
Got to get past the mighty Argyle first, mate.
yeah,
Green Army.
we'll see. What do you know? As soon as Rooney leaves, they start playing well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love Wayne Rooney, but I'm not sure he's manager material.
Not yet. Not yet.
Not yet.
He needs to go be a number 2 somewhere, doesn't he?
He
And
does, yeah. Yeah.
I reckon he could, if he could get
Do it
in
the hard
England
way.
under Tuchel.
I
That's
love
a
that he's
shout.
got the
Bad shout.
passion to do it, though. And I know we spoke about this before, but I love that he's stayed in the game and wants to give back. You know, I think that's really
yeah, he definitely doesn't
admirable for
have to, does he?
no.
Oh no. He just loves it, doesn't he? And that's why.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
It is admirable, definitely.
He probably won't do any worse job at Man United at the moment than most people. So
Well, yeah.
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 Maybe that's a
Oh.
chat for another day after you lose to
God.
Everton this weekend.
Yeah. Oh well. Yeah. Okay. Well, Jack, I know you have got a time, and we've had to keep it relatively short this week.
Yeah, appreciate
But,
it. Sorry
there's
we were running slightly late and whatever else, but thank you again,
It's all right,
boys.
nice
It's
to talk
been
to you.
yeah, it's good. Obviously, you got a cheeky little another back-to-back podcast derby for you, Ben. You had
Podcast derby. Podcast
Josh
derby.
last
That needs a
week
little.
and-
That needs its own little like jingle.
It does,
Podcast
yeah.
derby.
That means it'll be back-to-back at the end of the season as well. You'll have them second
Yes.
last game of the season.
Yeah.
Let me just
Could
check
both be in the hunt for a trophy there, mate. So
Yes, we'll see. I've also checked, whilst I do have a moment, I did check, and the Amazing Losers game's on the 24th of May.
yeah.
Okay.
So do we? It can't be that can't be the night before the
I'd be very surprised.
Well, it can't because it's a Saturday. They wouldn't do the awards on
I thought the Amazing Losers on a Friday. I think it's on a Friday night, mate.
Oh, it's got 24th on my calendar. 24th of May. I'm sure my calendar's the same as yours. It's a Saturday.
Oh, what's Matty talking about then? He said it was on a
Yeah,
Friday.
Saturday, 24th. Very good.
Yeah,
What do you mean?
I'm just going to double check. Bear with me 2 seconds. I have a
The fourth is
No,
a Saturday.
I'm lying. Sorry, that is the night of the awards. So maybe you are right. The 24th
23rd.
is.
Give it
The
23rd.
24th is the awards, and the 23rd is the Big
That's a
League
bit
game.
naughty.
Yeah.
As much as it's naughty that I've been cut out the photo I've just seen again, it pisses me off every time.
I
You
thought
two
you
having
didn't
a-
like that photo. I
I
swear
don't-
you said you didn't
I
like
don't like the photo, but I also don't like being cut out of the photo. That means somebody else
Because
doesn't
me and
like
Josh
the
are
photo.
far more handsome. That's why.
Yeah, exactly.
I think you're having
I-
more fun than I.
I
Clearly.
genuinely,
That's what I
I-
would
that is,
suggest.
and I mean this, and then not, I mean this or I genuinely think it's one of the best photos.
It is a
It
nice
is
photo.
good.
It is-
It
is-
a nice photo.
Yeah, I think that's, I love it.
Nice,
so,
candid. I have no idea.
Yeah,
what was
exactly.
happening. That's the
Yeah.
best ones, isn't it? Really.
yeah.
Definitely.
Right, gentlemen. I am going to
All right,
disappear
boys,
to
well,
Little
yeah.
Down to play football in the cold and wet in the wind.
Go
And
enjoy yourself, mate. Don't
Yeah.
injure yourself. Big game tomorrow.
yeah, I'll be there. Don't worry, mate. And thank
Anyone
you very
else
much
is playing,
again.
feel free to give him a knock.
A lot of Blues are playing. Jordan's playing.
Good.
Harry isn't. Harry was, but I think he ended
Con
up
is,
dropping
yeah.
out to make it easier for everyone.
Con and Josh are.
Bless him.
Con and Josh as well, yeah.
Oh God, they're all
Up
getting
the
run
Blues.
out. Wow,
Up the
hope they don't
Blues.
get injured.
Yeah, well.
You horrible bastard. You just curse one of
Well,
us,
I'll
man.
speak to you guys later then.
I'll see you
Yeah.
tomorrow.
Cheerio,
Cheers, lads.
chaps.
Take it
Thanks for your
easy.
time.
Bye.
Bye bye.